I'll just give a quick recap what we discussed last session. The last session we discussed what is data analytics and what are the tools that I'm going to cover in this course. For newcomers, I'll just write what are the tools that we are covering in this course. I'm covering Excel, SQL, Python, R, and Looker. So these are the tools I'm going to cover in this session, and you can go through the course curriculum in our DurgaSoft website. Uh, so today's session we're gonna start with Excel. So just to give a just to give a basic understanding, the Excel environment looks like this. So I just opened already pre-saved document. For example, if you wanted to open Excel, you just go here and type Excel. This is Excel. It will get open like this way. So entire this sheet that we call workbook in the sense. So here I saved it. I'll just open my window. Okay. So here, if we look at it here, I saved few files. Teaching workbook level 1, teaching workbook level 2. All this file, the first file or second file or third file, any file, all this file, the file I called as a workbook, Excel workbook. Excel workbook. And if you look at it here, I'll just zoom a bit. Hmm. So here this is Excel workbook, and if you look at here, sheet 1. So in Excel we can add sheet to multiple sheets here. So that will in a workbook, my workbook name is book 1, and currently we are in sheet 1 of a workbook 1. And one more thing is, in Excel, it's a spreadsheet names, like Excel operate based on the cells. So if you look at it here, in a row you see A, B, C, D, E, F, and here it is named as 1, 2, 3, 4. So the reason being, you see this ABCDs and 1, 2, 3 here is every cell is having some address. For example, here if you look at it here, the cell address of my cursor is E6. I'll just repeat it again. So for example, if I keep my cursor here, the address of this cursor is D3. So, D3. So this is what I mean to say. So wherever the C and 3 intersects, that becomes our address for that cell. So for example, if I keep 24 here, I'm keeping 24 in my C3. If I want that same value in my G3, what I will do, I'll just put an equal to and get value of C3, just a C3. So what I'm doing, I'm just in my G8, I just want a value of C3. That's why I just put equal to C3, and immediately I got the value of C3 in G3. So this is a basic construct. So entire workbook, entire Excel file that we have here is, we call this is a workbook. And if you open this, so in workbook you see multiple sheets, sheet 1, and you can add whatever the number of sheets that you want. At the most industry purposes and all, they will add only 5 to 6 sheets. That's all. These are sheets, and whatever the boxes that you see, right, that are cells, and each cell is referenced based on their address. The address will be created based on X and Y. X is nothing but A, B, C, D, this one, and Y is nothing but a 1, 2, 3, 4, and all. So just I hope you guys are clear. I'll just do the address of this cell should be L4. So L4. Yes, I'll just highlight it maybe in a color. So if somebody asks what is the address of this highlighted color, we should be able to say in L it is intersecting here. So yeah, so the intersection point of L and intersection of point of 4. So the address of this highlighted cell is L4. Yeah, this is basic concept. And if you want to save this Excel, you just need to go here, select as save, and wherever the folder that you wanted to save, you can save it. Maybe I'll save it in a data analytics folder. I'll name this as test doc, maybe test sheet. And just please remember, whenever you save Excel sheet, select Excel workbook, because here you see too many files. And don't save your Excel file with CSV, or sometimes by some softwares default show this. Whenever you click a save, default it will come like this. Don't save in this format. Save only Excel workbook format. So most of the industry, that raw data that you get, right, that will come in this format, CSV format. Once you complete your work, before closing your Excel sheet, you need to change it to this one. Change it to Excel workbook and save. So if you look at it here, you see the file types is Excel, Microsoft Excel worksheet. And for example, if I save this as a CSV, I'll do this. I'll save this as a CSV. Data analytics. Test sheet. I'll click this CSV. I'm saving this as a CSV. I'll tell you what we lose if I save this as a CSV. So I saved this as a CSV, and what I did here, I made here you see test sheet and sheet one. I'll put some numbers over here. 1, 2, 3, and there is a sheet 3 also available, and sheet 4 also available. And I saved it, and I'm closing the sheet. If I reopen the sheet, so they earlier you saw here at sheet 2, sheet 3, and sheet 4 and all, right, that got disappeared. So that is the reason the CSV is nothing but a comma separated file. Whenever you save an Excel workbook, contains multiple sheets, and if you save that workbook as a CSV, you lose all the sheets. You only end up with getting one sheet. That is the first sheet. So that's why general practice, general data analysts avoid saving their work in CSV. Whenever you wanted to save a file, that you should save that file as an Excel file. So yeah, once you save this file, you can just verify here. You see Microsoft Excel worksheet, and the file that I saved, it is showing Microsoft Excel comma separated values. So that is one difference. Like later on, you'll get to know. Like once you get started with this course, I'll just delete this one. Okay, let's get started with the actual work. So this is the basic construction of an Excel. So Excel is a workbook. The early days, they used to do this Excel with small budgeting work and small kind of a whenever they wanted to build something, they need a raw material, right? Bill of material. For example, if you want to cook a biryani, what you need? You need some rice, masala, and you need some kind of michi, oil, and everything. All these things, like that kind of a small analysis, they used to do in Excel. Like I just took cooking as an example, but there are many more examples for Excel. So in IT field, every most of the people, like 90% of the people use irrespective of their job, even if it's a program manager or a manager, everybody they have at least some percent use of an Excel in the day-to-day life. So for example, if you learn Excel, you will get to know how to operate a spreadsheet like Google spreadsheets and everything. So these are some of the example where Excel is getting used. We can see the use of Excel in business and financing and data analysis, project management, inventory management, supply chain and logistics, sales and marketing, HR and payroll, reporting dashboards, forecasting predictions, and so on. Like there are many like the people comes with a different domain, right? So I try to list all the examples of Excel here, so people can relate. Let's move to the first topic today. Uh, these are our first topic, logical functions. If I say logical functions, the logical functions are mainly the logical functions that it will be like if and or not, if error and if else. But first three is very important. So what is if and what is or? So if is nothing but, for example, if you wanted to do, there is some work need to be done. The work is dependent on some condition, one condition. So for example, if you wanted to go, so if you wanted to go movie, first you need to get a tickets. So maybe if it's some kind of a new movie get released, and if somebody asks, I'll go movie if I get tickets. So if condition is the reason to go movie, and if condition should be satisfied to go movie. So the first application of if condition. So here you are seeing a table, right? The table shows student name. There is a student called Venai and subject, and Venai is studying some standard, maybe some class, and these are his subjects: science, maths, biology, Sanskrit, Hindi, English, and these all are his marks. So here what we wanted to see, he recently got his results of each subject. We need to identify how many subjects when I is passed and what are the subject when I is failed. So come here. So this result, right? The column that is highlighted in blue is result that we generated. So let's see how to use if condition to generate this result. Just delete this. I'll just zoom in a bit. So, okay, the subject one science he got 70 marks, and passing criteria for each subject is 35 marks. 35 marks is passing. That means when I should get 35 or more marks to clear, consider that is passed in that subject. So in Excel, so we need the if condition works like this way. First, we need to write. So the value that I need to take a reference from E5, E, sorry, E15, E15, E15. So this is the subject, the marks are available in E15. That marks should be greater than or equal to 35. So I hope you guys are all aware about what is equal to and what is greater than. Greater than in the sense that the cell E15, the 70, greater than means at least it should be above 35 or equal to 35. Then only we can consider when I is passed in is subject. So how I can write this? So the first condition is if the marks are available in E15, E15 should be greater than or equal to 35. If it is the case, consider him pass. So if means if true, this is true. If this is true, the value should be pass, and if it is not true, the value should come as a fail. So just the common things that you guys need to notice here is the text one I kept in quotes, fail one it's in quotes, and 35 is an integer. I did not put any quotes for 35. So this is the basic functional syntax. People call this a syntax. This is a basic syntax. So okay, I'm saying if E15 is greater than 15, print or output pass. If it is not, fail. If it is not, fail. So if I enter this, it will not generate anything. It will just show this formula. To generate output, we need to put equal to over here. Just you need to put, whenever you put equal to before this function, the function will get activated, and once you click enter, you will get the result. So I gave here a formula. That formula says my if the cell value that in E15 is greater than or equal to 35, just output pass. So now I put formula here. Let's see. For example, if I change this to 20, it will generate fail. If I change this to 40, it will generate pass. So whenever I put this formula, this is now indestructible. The formula will always be there until you remove it. So whenever you change this value here, 70 91, it is again pass. Let's see how much. Let's see, 12. 12 is fail. So according to your value, the formula will always gets refreshed and updated. I'll put 91 again. I'll put 70 again. So it will generate a pass. For all if condition always have three arguments. The first is a condition. My condition should be like my value should be greater than 35. If 35, if this is true, print pass. If it is not true, print fail. And whenever I write some text, that should be in quotes. If it is an integer, no need to put that in quotes. So for example, if I do this, let's see what kind of a value that I'll get. Fail. The reason is it will not 35, it's 70, but it is giving you the wrong answers. So that's why don't ever put the numbers in quotes. Put only text and text values are in quotes. So now I generated a value for the science subject. The science results for scientist pass. So if you want the same value for all the cells, you just need to copy, drag, and you just drop. So what I did, I'll just redo again. So here you see, I'm just holding my mouse right button and I'm dropping this down. So it is the formula will always gets updated for all the rows. Let's see how this get updated. In first row in 15, E15 should be greater than 15. So when I copied and pasted it down, how this E15 should change it to E16, because I need to see the value for maths, right? So this value should get updated, then only I can believe this result is correct. Let's move to the second row. See, it automatically got updated to E16. And this is one method to dude, I'll just remove it. And another method is you just take you just control C, copy, just do a control V, paste. This formula also works. While doing this also, the cell references, right, the cell references will increase. The first cell, the reference point is E15. When I copied E15 and pasted it in E16, you see the changes in number is 60. It's all automatically gets updated. The thing is, when you're copying the upper cell to lower cell, the only change that Excel understands is uh, there is a movement that is happening with respect to this rows, but in column it is same. That's why Excel will only change the e6 values, because there is a movement is happening in this way. For example, if I copy this control V and if I paste it in outside, so what it's showing, if f15, so it took f15 value and generated this, but it is wrong. That's why it is coming past. So just keep this in mind. Whenever you're copying, you want the same value in a below row, just do copy paste. But uh, this works for only same in this vertically. The formula will get updated based on this vertical conditions. So just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. So yeah, once you update the formula in this the cells, whenever you change the values here, that the values with respect to f will auto updated. So I'll put this here 30, it will get failed. That is output is generating as fail. So I'll put 50 here. We see pass. So this is the first function if. Please always remember, in function you see three conditions, three arguments, one, two, three. One argument gives a condition. The second argument, if it's true, we get pass. If it's fail, if this is not satisfying, it will give fail. Okay, that is about if. So let's go to and. How and work? And is in if condition. We are saying that give me this if this is correct. Do this if this is correct. Whatever we are asking Excel to do based on one condition, we are asking them to do. But in and we have to tell that uh, in a way that so for example, if there are more than two columns to consider when I is passed. Science, if you go in science examination, there will be part 1 paper and paper 2, my part 2 paper, and total marks. So that maybe the institute, maybe the college of when I or a school of when I, they says that the pass marks should be 35, but in each part you should get 15 marks. Total marks and each paper, each part. So this is a passing condition that when a school has implemented. So just see. I think there is a message. So yeah. So total marks that when I get is 15, and each part should get 15. So in these conditions, to call when I when I is passed, first you need to see whether when I is getting the required marks. Means in part 1 at least he should get more than 15 marks. In part 2 you need to get more than 15 marks, and total you need to get more than totally this total marks you should get more than 35. This is the criteria. Part so each part you should get greater than 15, and total should be greater than 30. So this is the formula. So we can do this in two methods. I just don't want to confuse it here. So whenever we call this, whenever he satisfies this condition, the flag should generate true. So I'll just remove this entirely. I'll rewrite. Okay. And okay, my first values are in E15. Sorry, E26. E26, the value that available in E26 should be greater than or equal to 15. and the value that available in F26 also should be greater than or equal to 15, and the total marks you should get, total marks that are available in G26 should be greater than 35. If all these are true, greater than or equal to 35. If all these conditions true, it will generate true. Correct. So, and one more thing that you guys need to notice here, whenever you apply formulas, the reference cells will get highlighted in colors. So, so that is your way that your formula is working, and you can just to confirm the values that you are referencing is highlighted it or not. For example, if I remove this F26, so I just put F, that's all. That's why if you see it is got deselected. F26 is deselected because it is not completed yet. Every address in cell will be a first alphabet and a number. So here I put only F as alphabet. The number I did not enter as of now. That's why it is showing this. So to complete this formula, I need to enter alpha numeric value also 26. So if I and click enter, it will generate true. So and is checking more than a two, like it will be anything. It will check multiple conditions also. So this is what one, two, three. All these are true. Let's see. Here also you just need to copy and paste. You can copy and paste, or you can use this other method also. I'm just dragging and dropping it. So here if you see one condition, it got failed. What was that condition? So he got 15 marks in part 1 and 15 marks in part 2. Okay, the first condition satisfied. But total part 1 and part 2 is only 30. Okay, so he should get 35. Then only we call him pass, but he did not get 35. That's why it output generated as a false. So that's how in AND condition it will generate true or false. Okay, and here so we got true or false and the result. So this one I created if, just to the same if condition, same if condition. So I'll do. So some people don't understand what is true, what is false. T6 is H26 is just, if you put just H10 to 6 works, the I'll tell you the reason why. Pass. Pass. True means pass. So yeah. So here when I put H26, just I directly put H26 here. But in previous thing, when I put in this argument, I put E15 and I gave a condition it should be greater than or equal to 15. But why I did not give this condition? If you guys ask why I did not give the equal to, less than equal to, or equal to, or greater than or equal to, why I did not put any condition here? Why I put H26? The reason is, so the here we see true or false. So this we call binary operations in Excel. Whenever we see a true or false, uh, if we are using the true or false column in our if formula, you no need to give any condition. If it is true, then directly it will consider the true, and if it is false, it will consider the false. The thing is here also, what Excel does is E15 should be greater than 35. So if you look at it here, whenever the Excel executes, the first step it will check E15 is greater than 35, so it will generate true. First step in within Excel it will generate true, and if it is true it will generate pass. So just I eliminated that step. I just directly gave values are true or false. So if you give here this formula, see, there is no true or false anything. I just give a conditions. If satisfies all this condition, it will generate directly true. So this is all about and condition. Um, so yeah, please don't forget this how the cells are getting refreshed. So cells are getting, I'll just revise once. So for example, if you want to know address of that cell, it should be K25. So how I am saying the cell value, the address of the cell is K25. I'll just the intersection points of a vertical, so intersection point of vertical axis and intersection points of horizontal. So the vertical axis and horizontals are getting intersected at here. So the first is we take alphabet, that is K, and second we take this one 25. Even you no need to do this much of math. Whenever you put your cursor in each cell, it will highlight. See if it got bit dark colored here compared to K and M, and the same way 17. Yep. Let's go to the our textual terminal. So now let's learn about R. How R works. So if works based on a condition and work based on all conditions should be true. R works at least one condition should be true. So here there is, let's look at this is the students table, and we call the students as A B C D E F. Just imagine this A B C D E F names of a students. Let's see here, this one is a sports quota and merit quota. Sports quota means the students is performing very well in sports, is participating in all kind of a tournaments and is winning it. So that's why the institute gave him a sports quota. So whenever the student have sports quota, we see yes, yes, and if you don't have sports quota, no, no, no. And if we student have good marks, it will generate yes, 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 and it is no. So this data we already have, so we only generating the blue columns. And okay, in from first to now we were only generating blue columns. That's why we don't see any formulas here. So if you look at it, this data given by the organization or somebody, and they asking you to generate these two columns, flag or qualified. What is flag means here? Flag means here is we need to identify students. At least you should have a sports quota or merit quota. At least one means you no need to have two quotas. One quota is sufficient. If we have two quotas, that is good. That is not a problem. So we in this to consider a student eligible or qualified, at least you should have one quota, either in a sports quota or a merit quota. So in this kind of a formula, we need to use R. Okay, I'll just copy this. So this is a function. So we need, in there is a column, the F column, we need to generate a flag that says true or false. True in the sense student should have a quota, at least either sports or merit, at least one, anything. And if we don't have any, if you look at column D, it coming as a false because this student D did not get a sports quota, is not playing sports well, and is not studying well. So they decided that disqualify him D. That's why the flag should be false. So let's I'll just remove this. Let's write. The first check I need to do for R. If I do R, where is my cell? D36. D36 should equal to S. Just see guys, I'm putting quotes. I'm writing S in quotes. And next E36. You can put upper letter and lower upper alphabetics or lower alphabetics. There is no problem. I E36. So if I put E36, it is highlighting this one, right? If I do, let's see. If I do slow lowercase E36, still it is getting highlighted, right? So uppercase or lowercase, it is not a problem. Let's put this E36 should be also yes. Then if both are yes, if both are yes, generate true. Yes, it got generated true. And I'll copy paste. Okay, true, paste, true, and this should be false because this one don't have the sports quota and merit quota. False and false. Yep. So this is just a if condition. If 36 yes means yes and no, 36 true means yes and no. So some people don't understand true or false. That's why we were using one more if condition to convert the true as yes, false as no. And one more thing, I'll just so if it's difficult for you guys to write, for example, if it's O R R, it's difficult for you to write every time D 37. It's difficult for you. Sometimes there will be a big Excel and all. It's very difficult for you to do. So you can use your mouse or you can use your arrows, right? Left arrow. So I'm using my left arrow. Just observe that cursor. It is moving, right? You can so whenever I'm moving my cursor, the value here in this bar, it is getting changed. Now it is M37, M37, L37. If I move up 36, so it is getting moved. So you can go in this approach also. You no need to type every time. Just put OR, the formula, and just click your left arrow to the required conditioning cell. So I'm moving my left arrow to the conditioning cells, that is E37. And once your cursor is in that cell, put comma, and let's move again for another condition, another cell. So if that is not working, just yep, you can move this way. So if I have C37, I'll do the equal to thing you guys need to take care. Should be cell referencing. You can use using cursor movement. You can do that, but this one you should do the yes or no conditions that you need to type true. So it's not just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. That's all. So this generates flag true. If it is qualified means yes. So if you want more granularity qualified, so if you want, you can create another column called result, like to give more understanding. So what result should say is whenever we say qualified means we should call him selected. So how do we do this? I'll put if condition again. So lowercase or uppercase doesn't matter. Excel will interpret. And what is my cell? So it should be G36 if G36 is yes, print selected. Selected. If it is not as, not selected. Okay, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. So whenever it, so see how these columns are changed. For flag, it is generated false. For qualified column, it got generated no. For result column, it generated not selected. So this is a copy paste approach, and I'll do drag and drop. So for example, if I drop this, yes, it will generate the same. And some cases, what I used to do. So here it's a small table. That's why we are doing drag and drop. So some cases, what I will do, I'll just copy this. I'll go down and I'll paste this, and I'll copy this again, and I'll select Control Shift up arrow, and I'll do Control V. So everything will got selected. So how this Control Shifts works is, uh, I think that should be a next part, but just remember Control plus Shift plus up arrow. Just why Control Shift and up arrow is important is, I think this is a small data. That's why we were not able to see. Okay, I'll teach you that in the next class maybe. Anyway, I'll teach it now. The other way, if I might forget. So whatever I'm teaching in this class is a basic, guys. So yeah, I'll share this Excel sheet with you. Please see how the formulas are, working and all. So we covered if and or. So our next topic is not. So why the control up and down arrow is important? So for example here, right, if you wanted to see what is the last row of this table, just put your cursor in date, control plus shift plus down arrow. So it selected all. So I'm this saying that there are 1 lakh rows are available in this Excel sheet. So it got till at the bottom. So it is very difficult for you to scroll and see. There is literally 1 lakh rows, so you can't scroll down like this way. So just keep this in mind. Like data analysts, most of the data analysts use this function a lot. So I'll put this here, control shift down arrow. It will select and it will move your cursor at the bottom of the row. And if we are here, you can just control shift up arrow, so it will come here. So for example, here you see an empty row, right? It's an empty row. Empty row, if I do control shift in empty row, you will not get anything because it's an empty row. So this will useful for identifying the what is the last row of a given data set. Control shift down arrow, it will give this one. The same way it will also control shift left arrow will give to the first call till first column. Control shift right arrow will give till the last column. And if I click control shift right arrow in this empty space, it will take you to the end of the sheet. So this will be useful to identify the last left, last the bottom and top rows, and first and last columns also. So yeah, this is okay. So let's move to not functions. So not is something, whatever your condition is, that will generate opposite result. So yeah, I just copied our first table when I marks for science, maths, biology, Sanskrit in the English. He got these marks. Our passing criteria for this is our passing criteria for this is 35 marks. So the result got generated, but whenever you use not operation, so whenever you use an not operation, it will generate a result opposite of this. So it should be, for example, not. It's got stuck. Just a minute, guys. It got stuck. I'll just. I think this sheet I opened that sheet now. That's why it is getting selected. So, for example, here. So, whenever the condition, right? The condition. So, if it is true, so let's see this column. The not result. The actual result is just an if condition, whatever we are using in STEM. So, if you use a if condition, it will generate result like this. And if you use not condition, it will generate result opposite of this one. So here if you look at it, E45 should be greater than 35. So what is E45? Go to E and 45, and here the value is 70. 70 is greater than 35. Ideal case it should generate true, but if you look at it in our result, it is false because we are using not function. Not function is we are asking Excel to generate opposite of this. So we use this function. So whenever uh, like it just like I understand synonyms and antonyms, right? In English we see somebody says good, you call him bad, kind of, right? So that kind of a use cases we use this one. So whenever whenever the condition is true, we say opposite of that condition, right? That kind of a cases we use not operator. Actually, not operator is not that much widely used, but yeah, as for course curriculum, I just wanted to cover. But first three is very very important, guys. Just you have to take. So next, see what is if error. Yeah, this is most frequently encountered issue in every data analyst and all. So when you got to marks, just see students, subject marks and total marks. So total marks in the sense the science paper is for 100 marks, he scored 70 marks, and we need to give a percentage. He got 70 percentile. So if you look at it here, whenever you receive a data, some rows by mistakenly some kind of a things, it will happen. We will get with zero. Not zero, so some kind of glitches will have. Maybe if you have 1 lakh rows, maybe 10-20 rows will be like a zero value. So how you do a percentage? The percentage is nothing but a marks received. So first we do this e E59. So E59 is that marks received by total marks. F59, E59 and F59. If you do this, you get zero point 0.7. To convert this into percentage, we multiply with 100. we multiply with 100. So we got this marks. So same marks we get it here, right? So the thing is, I'll just remove everything. The thing is, so I applied my formula to convert the percentage. I'm doing copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste 0. So here what happened? It is not working. It is throwing an error divisible 0. So whenever you see a denominator is 0, that time Excel doesn't work. It will throw this kind of error. So what happened whenever, so if error, whenever error comes, we need to like we can't like whenever you send a data to them, they will say that what is div error and all. So we need to explain in a way that excel, if excel says div error, the reason is denominator is 0, it is not divisible. So for this case what you need to do is, we need to just whatever the we need to use this formula. So till here the first part, I'm just selecting it in this row. Till here, that is our formula to get a percentages from marks and total marks. I'm adding one more layer out of it. Calculate these two columns and give me a value here. But whenever it is an error, but whenever you get an error, you give another name. It is not divisible. So okay. So that's why I'm adding one more condition if error. So these are the new that I added to handle my errors. I'll just highlight it. Hope you guys are seeing this screen clearly. So the first part is my actual formula, and second I added if error. This function says whenever the value that is appeared here, if it is an error, generate not divisible. Not divisible. Are you here? I'm putting not divisible. Okay. I'll just do copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. So he not divisible, right? This is something the reason that we are giving Excel to populate. But you can do this also. You can change it. You can change in this way. I'll write it in a issue with the data. Issue with the data. Issue with the, so it will generate issue with the data. So if there is no issue with the data, we don't see this column also generating. I'm just copying, pasting everywhere, but still it is not showing. So the reason that you gave here will generated in our cells if error. So for example, some cases what happens, if it is 0 mean there is something wrong. You no need to worry. Some cases what you need to do, you need to put whenever error comes, consider that is a 0. So because when if it is this is the case, and just select all these values here and come your right left corner. If you see the Excel generates some basic stats for this selected column. So for selected column the values would be average is 55 and total 6 subjects, count is 6, that means we can understand it as 6 subject, and the sum of this 6 is 334. So yeah, when you select this, it will generate average, count and sum. But coming to here, if you select this one, we are not getting average and we are not getting sum. So if see here, if you see average, you are seeing 83 and count you are seeing 6 and sum 500. But you select percentage column, you only getting 6. The reason is Excel is not understanding is this a column or a integer column or a text column, because five numbers are in integers and one row is in character or a text. So that is the problem. Excel is not understanding what to say. That's why Excel only saying that there are six cells are selected. So even if you select this, you only, okay, here if you see issue, when we replaced with issue with data, so saying that 6 and he eliminated this one and is giving average for remaining 5. And yeah, so and it doesn't look good putting issue with data. Sometimes what our managers or a manager says is that whenever you get an error, replace that with 0. They will ask us to do this kind of a work, then only data looks clean and are proper. So now see the average got changed. So yeah, so this also we can do, but I'll put now for not divisible. Okay, lost ifs. So if as this condition works, I'll just copy this. Now for example, there is a situation we need to grade our students based on the marks that they received. So just look at it here. When I science marks, maths, biology, Sanskrit, and everything, the condition is whenever student gets in ifs, you can put a lot ifs, and it's an extension of if condition. In if condition, I said there are three, just a three argument. One is a condition. If it is condition true, the true will comes out. If condition is false and false is comes out, false reason is comes out. But whenever you the ifs, ifs, where this in this if condition, you put many as possible. Like so here, if you look at it here, the condition is whenever when I score more than 90 marks, you should get A. That is one condition I put, and after that I put one more comma. Whenever when I scores greater than or equal to 71, greater than or equal to 80, you should get B grade. Whenever when I gets greater than 70 marks, you should get C grade. So yeah, so first you need to put a condition, and if the condition is true, what? If condition is false, it will check another condition, next condition is 80 for here. Just in this first condition, when I got 70 marks, first what Excel will do, Excel will check the first condition. What is 70 is greater than 90? No. Then it will check the next condition. Is 70 is greater than 80? No, it will false. And again it will go to the third condition. Is 70 is greater than or equal to 70? Yes, it is true. Like we are putting equal to also. So if I don't put equal to, it will give false. So that's why it is generated condition C fail. Whenever so it is greater than 30, it will generate fail. Why it isn't coming? Oh, okay, I changed it. I'll just copy paste again. One, two, three, four. Okay, so here 40, the 40 should be grade F,
It is
right?
great. It is
uh,
greater than 30 fail you have mentioned.
but here what I put in integer, I just did this quotes. I'll remove my quotes here, because if I remove this quotes, yes, I'll do again copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Yes.
Even for 40 also you put the code.
Where? Here, yes. Earlier I put quotes for 40. That's why it is generated fail. Like it generated wrong value. Just here also I'll remove quotes. Like I don't put quotes for integers, numbers. Only put quotes for text. Yes. Yeah. Okay, guys. We are almost on time, and this is all for today's session. And I'll do one thing. I'll try to reach out to institute and ask to share the sheet with you. Like in your free time, just these are most used functions in Excel. I'll teach anyway. I'll teach by chapter by chapter. But whenever you have time, please go and read this. Not only this, and whenever like you just refer the sheet maybe. This is only a level one. It's a basics only. Like yeah, we can have more advanced than this, but that is easy actually. Excel is easy. We can refer and based on the procedure that we can go ahead. Yeah. Anyway, this is all for today session. If there is any questions, you guys can ask me.
So please share that just now you have shared, right?
This one only. Okay, sure. I'll do share this one.
Not this formula one, the remaining formulas.
Sorry. Okay. And this one, it's already in the sheet.
Yeah,
The one sheet gives you
yeah,
everything.
this one.
So
If
yeah.
I am all nested, if error, some subtract.
So whenever you open the sheet, now just navigate here. You see sheet one, sheet like sheet
Okay,
three is a
okay, got
job
it.
functions. So
I thought this is in some other sheet, so
uh, and whenever you open it, and if you do some modification, and if you wanted to save it again, save it in Excel workbook, like I showed it in earlier. And like you can go through recording maybe once more. Like if you can, there are I explained I think five concepts and too many things here. If you have free time, please do go through the recording one more time, so that will clear your doubts and it will help you how to navigate the Excel sheet. Yep. This all then today. If there is no questions, we can wrap this up. Okay, I'll take it as no questions. Thanks everyone. Have a nice day. Bye.